Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead to call the meeting to order. As the superintendent of schools, I normally don't call the meeting to order, but this is our organizational meeting for the Hudson School District. And what we have to do in this process, and always kind of a fun one to have the students at because they get to see the process of local government and work as we get ready to elect the officers for the board. And so we have 4 officer positions that will be elected tonight: the president, the vice president, the treasurer, and the clerk, in that order. The only position that I will be handling will be the president position. The format in which we will do this election is I will call for nominations for president. The nominations are verbal. After I call for a nomination and somebody's been nominated, I'll ask them if they accept the nomination to make sure that they want the nomination. After I call for nominations 3 times, we'll close the nominations. The votes for the officers will be done via written ballot that Tim has, unless there is only one individual that's nominated for a specific position, in which case I would then entertain a motion to do a voice vote or vote of acclamation, and that would take a second as well. So need a nomination and then a second to nominate an individual after the nominations are closed, and if there is only the one person. And then by voice vote, we would then allow the board to elect. Once the president's been elected, then I'll turn it over to the newly elected president, and they will follow that same format for the vice president, then the treasurer, and the clerk. So, any questions about the election process before I get started with the first position? All right, with that, not seeing any questions, this would be the first call for any nominations for president of the board.
Dr. Olette? I would nominate Bob Bauman for school board president.
Okay.
Second?
Oh, we can't
Oh,
do
I can't do
seconds
that
yet,
yet? Oh,
but
sorry.
we'll get there.
Just overeager.
Yes, very eager. Bob, do you accept the nomination? I'll make a second call for nominations for president of the Hudson School Board. I will make a third call for nominations for president of the Hudson School Board. All right, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close nominations. We only have one nomination, and so according to Board Policy 141, I would entertain a motion to nominate Bob Bauman as president of the Hudson School Board.
I would like to make a nomination to, or make a motion to nominate Bob for president of the Hudson School Board.
So we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion and we have a second. There's no discussion on this one. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All right, the ayes have it. President Bauman.
Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate that. So now we'll have a vote, or nomination for vice president. Are there any nominations for vice president?
Mr. President,
Yes. Megan.
I would like to nominate Kate Garza for vice president.
Okay. Kate, would you be willing to accept that nomination for vice president?
I would.
Very good. Is there any other nominations for vice president? Calling a second time, is there any nominations for vice president? And a third time, any nominations for vice president? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept her nomination, I guess? Okay, motion by Aaron, do I have a second?
Second.
Molly was first. So now we have a second. We can have a voice vote to for Kate's nomination. All those in favor of Kate for vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Any, or all those saying no? Hearing none. Welcome to the board as vice president, Kate. Next, we move on to treasurer or clerk? Treasurer. Do we have any nominations for treasurer?
Mr. President,
Yes, Molly.
I nominate Megan Rosowski as treasurer.
Megan, would you accept the nomination for treasurer?
I do.
Excellent. Are there any other people nominating for treasurer? For a second time, any nominations for treasurer? And a third time, any nominations for treasurer? Hearing none, could I have a second to accept nomination for, that's seconded by Maria. And hearing that, now that we have no other people nominated, we'll have a voice vote for Megan Rosowski. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Hearing none, welcome to treasurer position, Megan Rosowski.
Thank you.
And I just realized I haven't been saying aye when I should be saying aye. So, is that abstaining? And next we will call nominations for clerk. Do we have any nominations for clerk?
I would like to nominate Molly Powers for clerk.
Hearing that nomination, Molly, would you accept nomination for clerk?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations for clerk? Again, any nominations for clerk? And a third time, any nominations for clerk? Hearing none, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept Molly Powers as clerk.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept Molly Powers as clerk.
Thank you very much. Do we have a second?
Second.
Kate got that one. Yes. So, all those in favor of Molly Powers for clerk, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, welcome to the board as clerk, Molly Powers. Okay. All right. And do I have to read that or no? No. Just recognitions. You want me to- Yes. we can go-
So we have our annual activities recognition. I'm going to turn it over to Aaron Moen, our AD.
Appreciate you having us tonight. Great to see the new faces. Welcome to the board. Honored to have these individuals behind me. Just a little bit up front on who we have with us here tonight. We have our competitive and performance-based clubs and organizations. Oftentimes the group that we don't see as much. You can't necessarily buy tickets to all these events. Not all of them are played in a stadium. Not all of them are out in the public as much as some of our sports might be, but nonetheless, great activities and should be celebrated just the same. A lot of great accomplishments you're going to see. One thing I'm extremely proud about, well, two things with this group. If you look at our collective extracurricular participation and really in multi-activity students, in addition to their achievements in the classroom, this group right here is unbelievable. And that's something that I really want to make sure, I know they won't hype themselves up that way, but that you're all aware of. The other part is just what I mentioned, that involvement in multiple activities. As I look at this group right here, some athletes, some individuals involved in multiple clubs and organizations, upwards of 5 and 6 sometimes, which is amazing to figure out how they keep it all together and then achieve what they do. But I'll let them take care of that explanation and how they put together some successful seasons here, with a few wrapping up right now. But we will start off with speech and debate.
Hello, everyone. I'm welcomed to announce that this is our second year officially being known as Speech and Debate, as we did have to put our past name Forensics into the ground since it kept causing too much confusion. Regardless of that, both sides of speech and debate have grown into something that we are proud to call as one family under the Forensics banner. This year, we saw 31 registered members across both, and 14 of those are new, especially among our freshman population, so we're glad to see that we're creating traction among all grade levels at Hudson High School. Of our speech team, I'm happy to announce that every single member qualified and went to state this year in Madison. But state qualification isn't something that we're just proud of, it's the location, as this was the first time we got to go back to the UW-Madison campus. This is really important for us, as hundreds of years speech has been hosted at this campus in our capital, but since COVID, the college opted to not do it. So having us be able to return it and go back there for this year and moving forward, presumably, is something we're really special about. Because of our members at state, we were able to earn 15 gold medals. That was half of our team earning gold. And because of that, we earned the Distinction Award. This is a prestigious award given to the top 5% of schools due to their gold medal placements. But it's not just about golds, it's about the friends. And one of them I would like to mention today as a special award in forensics speech and debate is known as the President's Award. And this is something given to an individual who has been able to achieve golds all 4 times at state. And I'm proud that one of our captains standing with me today has earned this award. Please give it up for Olivia Knowles.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're all having a good night tonight. I'm here to actually talk about one of the challenges that we overcame as a group. All of the other bigger schools in our conference, they all typically host an invitational every year. But because we've never done one, we decided to take one this year, and it was pretty challenging. All of the other schools had lots of coaching turnovers, and as one of the bigger teams, Hudson stepped up and had the first one of the season. There was a lot of logistical problems to work out due to this. Doors locked, missing ribbons, the works. Generally, people say that the first is the worst, but overall, I think we killed it. For awards, we worked with the wood classes to craft beautiful plaques for winners, and as a team, we ended up taking 2nd place overall, which is a huge feat for Hudson. On top of that, we are one of the only teams to have a good-sized both speech and debate team, as Logan mentioned. That was also another challenge because at state, we had to deal with scheduling between both of them as they were both at the same time. And so some of our students that were in both speech and debate would have to choose between them at that state competition. However, we are really excited to see where this goes in the future. And we have a lot of challenges ahead, but knowing us, I think we'll be able to overcome them.
Oh, okay, thank you. Being a part of Hudson's speech team has really had a big impact on me, especially when it comes to communication skills. When I first joined, I was scared about speaking in front of others. But over time, I become more confident, and I've learned how to present myself clearly. I've learned how to create a speech and present it. I've become better at answering questions in class and even just a conversation with a friend. It's also helped me become more outgoing as a person, and before I was more reserved, but now I feel much more comfortable stepping out of my comfort zone and reaching out to other people. One of the best parts of this club is that I've made so many wonderful friendships, and they are super supportive. Overall, Hudson's Speech Club has helped me grow personally and socially, and I'm really proud of how far I've come. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raya Ebert. From the outside looking in, the most daunting part of speech and debate seems obvious. Ironically, the speaking. Other students ask me, wait, you talk for 10 minutes competitively? But for me, the greatest challenge wasn't inside a competitive room. It was outside, where there was no judge, no timer, no script. As a student leader, I found myself in unfamiliar territory for me. Organizing meets, managing communication with the team, and most intimidating of all, corresponding with adults. Asking local businesses for fundraising is not glamorous. It's awkward and usually denied. But as our team grew, so did our costs as we needed more judges, meaning I would need to learn how to not only perform, but also advocate for my team. Through the trials and communication with our fundraisers like Big Guys Barbecue, I have learned professionalism, perseverance, and how to advocate, which just goes to show speech and debate is not just a club that teaches you how to perform. It gives you the skills and experiences to tackle any challenge that may pass your way. Thank you.
I would just add
DECA
that,
able to make it?
great success this year, and also great to see the participation rise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aiden Miller. I'm the current president of our DECA chapter at Hudson High School. This is Jillian White. She is our vice president of community service. And unable to make it with us, but on our officer team was Macy Zimmer, vice president of membership development. And I'm going to turn it over to Jillian, who's going to talk about some of just a quick yearly recap and some of the things that we were able to accomplish this year.
Yeah. So this year we had a record high number of members in our chapter. We had 58 members in our chapter, and 57 of them competed at districts, which is the first round of competition. From there, we had 33 move on to the state competition, which is also a record high. 2 years ago, my freshman year, we had only sent 20, so this is huge improvement for us. Also at the state competition, we were recognized as one of the top community service chapters in the state, meaning we raised some of the most money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association and participating in overall community activities. We were also recognized as a diamond level team in the Diamond Dash, which is a competition that measures both chapter engagement, performance, and community engagement. This was the first time we've ever reached the diamond level, so that was really exciting as well. We then sent 12 competitors to the International Career Development Conference in Orlando, Florida, which is, again, the highest we've ever sent. And from there, we had our first ever finalists at the international competition, where 2 of our members were recognized as one of the top 20 projects for school-based enterprises. So our Raider School Store, they did a project on that and presented it there. They were one of the top 20 in the world, and thousands of schools submit papers each year, so that was a huge accomplishment for us. And I would say we had a lot more engagement within some of our events throughout the year. So we do pumpkin carving and trick or can each year, and we had a lot more engagement in that this year than we have in previous years. I'm gonna hand it back to Aiden now.
Yeah, so kind of what Jillian was saying, we had a really successful year with things like that, and one of the most rewarding things from like an officer and leadership standpoint was seeing all the participation at these new events or the events that we had, and things like our competition workshops where we bring in our members and we kind of prepare them for our competition. It was really rewarding as a leader to see the success that we had and seeing how even our new members did really well at the competitions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll invite both our fall musical and spring play up at the same time.
Hi, my name is Freya Fenstermacher, and I was in the ensemble in the fall musical this year. So we're all seniors here, and I've been in the musical for 4 years since my freshman year. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for us all to get to meet new people and collaborate on something that's bigger than us. And there's so many different ways for students to participate in it, through like their band and our crew, and then our huge cast, as always, too.
Hi, I'm Ethan Freeman. I played Willard in this year's rendition of Footloose at the Hudson High School. I joined the musicals my sophomore year. That's also where I began choir in general. Unlike the other groups that were just brought up, musicals and plays aren't competitive, but we are still a team. And this year's Footloose was one of the strongest groups of people I know. We had so many people, I believe almost 60 kids. Every single person had a moment to let their individual skills and talents shine. It was so wonderful working with every single person and meeting 100% of people that I wouldn't know without doing these things. And I'm so glad I did it and was able to meet these people. And I just wanted to share how thankful I am for that.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I played the role of Rusty in Footloose this year. So not only, like we said, there are students who also participate in the band and the crew for Footloose. And with that, there's a lot of student leadership opportunities. Our stage managers and assistant stage managers for like the last, every year that I've been involved have all been students. So it's really great that not only are those leadership opportunities presented on stage, but also off stage and behind the scenes. It's just a really great experience to be a part of.
Hello, sorry. My name is Maya Johnson. I played Vi Moore, the preacher's wife in the fall musical Footloose. And it's basically the best way to describe it is that it's a really great and opening experience to be a part of. You get to put yourself out there in ways that you don't really get to in the daily life, and it's really intriguing and new and different. And I was in 3 of the musicals at the Hudson High School. So this show was definitely something special, and it was definitely special to the community as well because we even added an extra show to our dress rehearsal, which was, not sure if that's ever happened before, but it was definitely exciting for all of us kids, and the teachers too, of course.
Should we talk about the play?
Yeah. Oh wait, what schools are you going to?
Oh, would you like to talk about the play?
Okay.
I also played Dottie / Mrs. Clackett in Noises Off, and yep, she's the funky lady with the big wig. With the spring play, it's typically really small groups. This was a cast of, I believe, 9 people, and it's really intimate, and you get to grow these really tight, close-knit friendships, and it's something that's really extraordinary, and I'm very grateful to be a part of, and it really has broadened my skills of within myself and what I want to further myself into. And it's fun, it's different. All this fun makeup, new clothes, a wig. It's definitely something that not everyone gets to be a part of, but when you are, it's great. And it's even furthered. I will be going to the University of Duluth to major in psychology and minor in theater. And without these 3 years of all these different things, I don't know what I would be doing. Thank you.
I also played the role of Brooke Ashton in Noises Off. And this goes for the musical as well, but we are all really grateful that Hudson has this great theater program. Not only, we put on great shows, but it's also great to be a part of. It's really rare to have something where you can put so many hours, staying late nights after school, and you can put work into it and be proud of it, and also have a family of people. And like Maya said, our cast was only 9 people with 2 understudies who were there every single day, and 2 stage managers. So it's really this small group of people that you can get close with and bond with. The theater program itself has brought so many people together. I probably wouldn't know any of these people if I hadn't joined when I was a sophomore as well. And I also want to talk about how we added understudies this year. I'm going into theater, and I was also the understudy for Cosette last year for Les Mis, and it's a really great opportunity to be an understudy. That's a really important skill to learn, multitasking and just being ready to go on whenever you need to go on. I'm going to Viterbo University to major in a BFA in musical theater. We want to thank the school board and Aaron Moen for inviting us to come out today and giving us your time. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, I just want to say that every single production that I see at the Hudson High School completely blows me away. They are so good. And I also have to give a shout out to Maya because your overalls with one down I used to wear in the 90s in high school. And so all of a sudden I feel cool again. Thank you.
All right, FFA.
In the FFA's opening ceremonies, our reporter pledges to bring together the states from Alaska to Hawaii, and from Maine to the Virgin Islands. And just as our organization is widespread, it is diverse. It has been over 40 years since the FFA has just been farmers. We have long since been expanding past that. FFA is now more towards agriculture and agronomy. It includes floriculture and food sciences. We are not just farmers, we are everyone else in between. And just as our organization is widespread and diverse, so is our personal chapter. We are not just the people who live on wide farms, we are also the people who live in your neighborhoods and next door and with you. The FFA has 80 registered members. We are everywhere. And we've grown a lot in the last couple of years.
Hello again. One way the FFA has grown is by the use of CDEs. This acronym stands for Career Development Events. These are, as Nico explained, floriculture, vet science, and agronomy, for example. This involves people who are interested in ag and non-ag majors to get a first look and a way to see what these careers are like. Let's say, for example, I did forestry this year, and I got the opportunity to go on a timber cruise. This allowed me to gain first-hand skills, what it means to be a forester, use tools, and think like them. However, we do more than just forestry, as we had 40 members in our chapter participate in these CDEs this year, and of those 40, which are classified into 4 people per team, 7 of those teams were at regionals, and all 7 of those then participated to state. This is very fun for us as we get to allow ourselves to expand in a different way and have people participate in a unique way to fully understand what it's like to participate in ag studies in general.
As Logan mentioned, we have been extremely successful with our CDEs. This fall, one of our CDEs, Agriculture Mechanics, has even had the opportunity to compete at the national level. Last summer, they competed at our state competition, and they got first in the state of Wisconsin, which qualified them for nationals. Ag Mechanics then went on to compete at nationals and secure a silver ranking, which is a huge accomplishment. We also had another member, Eden DeFlorin, complete an agri-science research project, which he then presented at nationals and won 4th place for in the nation, which is a huge accomplishment. Outside of CDEs, Hudson FFA also helps members grow tremendously as leaders through something called an LDE, or Leadership Development Event. This year, we've had a couple people compete at leadership development events, and we've even had a couple members place pretty well at regionals this year. We had one member place 3rd, and we had another member, myself, place 3rd in their event as well. These LDEs have helped me grow a lot as a person and as a leader. FFA has inspired me so much to become a leader. I've been an officer this year, and I'm going to be an officer next year. It has helped me grow a lot as a person, and I'm really grateful to be part of this club.
As previously mentioned, a lot of what FFA is how diverse it is. I'm a freshman, and I have grown so much as a person, both in school, outside of school, and just around the community. There's a lot of community events where you can just kind of help out the community, help out the school, and help family and friends, neighbors, anyone around you. Thank you.
And anybody wanting to enter the drawing, they do a Kiss a Cow competition. This year is past, but next year, just connect with one of us or them. Initiation. HOSA.
My name is Mabel. I'm a freshman in HOSA. HOSA is a club that really focuses on the students who want to go into healthcare. Throughout my HOSA experience, we've done a few events, like we've made cards for teachers for Mental Health Week, which has really helped our community, and it really just brought us closer to our club mates. And we have planned a bingo event during the holidays we were going to go with the seniors, but a snow day canceled that. But next year. But we also have events planned in the future, such as blood drives we're going to help out the Red Cross this summer. And we have shadowing opportunities set up so we can focus on our futures in healthcare. And we also have opportunities set up to volunteer at local hospitals, which will be really nice because we get a feel for what the hospital setting feels like while also aiding our community. And we also have a teddy bear clinic set up, so that'll be cool. So kids will bring in their injured teddy bears, and we'll help them fix it and show them how to do that. That'll be fun. But I feel like HOSA has really just brought me a really good sense of community, and it helped my leadership skills a lot because I'm a freshman, but I feel like I've contributed a lot to the club along with my peers.
Okay, so a month ago, or a couple of months ago, I went to state for HOSA, and I competed with 15 other people, and it was really just a cool experience because I'd never gone before, and I was really nervous going in, but it was a super cool place to learn because there were so many people, and it was really cool. And one of our participants is going to nationals this summer in June, so that was really cool to see her accomplish that. And I'm really excited to see what this club can do. And this Wednesday we have a Chipotle night, so it'd be very nice if you could go and raise money for our club. But thank you so much.
Quiz Bowl.
Hello, I am Joseph Dirk, a sophomore at Hudson High School. I am here today to talk about Quiz Bowl, an extracurricular activity that has helped me grow as a student. Quiz Bowl has given me motivation, a thing that I struggled to find in middle school. Quiz Bowl has helped me find a reason to improve myself and put more into my education. Quiz Bowl has benefited me in many ways. Those that have been listed are but a mere few. One memory that has impacted me significantly was the moment I was recognized for being one of the top scorers at a tournament in Madison. At this tournament, we qualified for a team for nationals in Atlanta. The team is looking forward to representing Hudson at this tournament in under 2 weeks. The impact this had on me was immeasurable. It allowed me to experience what it feels like to represent something. Looking past this, not only was I given a chance to represent our school, I was given a team to bond with. This is to say, in Quiz Bowl, I have found not only teammates but friends. I owe a debt of gratitude to the school district and my coaches for the opportunity to grow in my social and academic life. That's all.
Science Olympiad.
Hi, my name is Rosetta Eben, and I am a senior captain for the Science Olympiad team. This year we had a record high enrollment of 60 members. That has been great to see such high numbers because my freshman year I think we had 20 people, so we nearly tripled in size since then. We also had 4 teams this year. That is something that has never happened before, and that was really fun to have an extra team this year. We had an absolutely incredible season. We took first place at Unity. We won the Spirit Award for the first time ever, which is a sportsmanship award they give out at a few of the competitions, and we won that this year. We also got first at regionals, and we've never done that before, so that was really cool. And then we took 4th at state out of 70 teams.
Hi, my name is Shelf Johnny, and I like to talk about the experience of being in Science Olympiad, as a competitor. And I am one of the senior captains this year, but I actually only joined the high school Science Olympiad last year, but I was a competitor in the middle school Science Olympiad. So I really enjoy Science Olympiad because of the events that you get to do, and just the amount of fun that you get doing it. So there are 3 main types of events. There's test events, there's build events, and there's do events. And so at test events, you study beforehand, usually with notes, with a binder, and some of these events include anatomy, physiology. From year by year, you learn about different parts of the body and then tested on that. There's build events where you build something and then bring it to the competition, and then how well that build does is how well you place. So an example of this is towers, where you build a tower to handle the most amount of weight without breaking, and while it being in a specific weight range. And then there's the do events, which you don't really bring anything or prepare anything. You just go to the competition, you with a partner or two, and then you just compete in the event. So an event like this would be Right It Do It, where you need one partner, and one partner sees something and then has to write down specific instructions that the other partner looks at and then tries to build that exact object from the instructions given. So I really like how Science Olympiad just has a wide variety of events for anybody to pick from. And pretty much, if you are interested in science at all, there's at least one event where Science Olympiad can help you. And I found that a few of my interests have actually stemmed from Science Olympiad. Like, I did an event called Astronomy this year, where you learn all about stars and galaxies and like everything in space. And it's really shown me that I really like learning about astronomy, and I'm already involved in physics, so I plan to extend that in my future education in college. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Emily McGee. I have had the honor of speaking before a lot of you for the past 3 years about Science Olympiad, and I would like to talk today about some challenges that we face this year and how we're gonna move past and get better for them this next year. So one thing that comes with having 60 members and having 4 different teams is it's hard to be cohesive between everyone. As we had like 20 freshmen new this year, new to our team, we tried to work to get everyone to work together between like combining seniors and juniors and combining the sophomores and freshmen together. So as the freshmen and sophomores will go up throughout the years, they will be continuing to be on the same teams. And in the future, we think that this will help us have really cohesive teams that can compete really well. And we're looking to get even better than 4th place at state soon. And us being a bigger club, we are looking to compete more next year. So this year we had 4 competitions. We had our 2 invitationals and then our regional and our state. And next year we are looking at even having a 5th competition, possibly a Hudson invitational coming up soon. So I think that would be really cool for Hudson to be able to show off our school, show off our different competitive, like all the space that we have in our high school, and how it would be perfect for a different Science Olympiad competition like that. Thank you.
Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say you all are amazing. Your talents, your skills, your dedication, and I love hearing about how much you valued your time together and you've grown together as a team, the friendships that you've made, the challenges you've overcome, how you give back to the community. And I just want to say good luck to all the teams that are going to state and nationals coming up. Thank you for coming here tonight and being with us. It's just really amazing to hear from you all.
Mr. President? Thanks. I just want to echo what Megan said. This is one of my favorite, and I'm sure most board members and administration, we love to see what you guys are doing. And everything that you talked about, I'd be like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. I want to do that. Oh, that looks like, why didn't I do that in high school? Oh, that sounds like so much fun. And you're just great. And my son was in HOSA, and he's actually graduating from college this year. He's not going on to med school like we had planned, or he had planned, which is okay. That's okay. He got a ton from HOSA, and he is an English neuroscience major. So just to know that there's lots of opportunities, and you guys are amazing. Really, kudos to all of you, and your teachers and your parents. You know, spectacular young people.
Sorry about. Loved hearing that you're taking advantage of the opportunities provided with these programs, and to see the participation grow. Looks like pretty much across the board. So, and just thank you. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out tonight. This is really incredible stuff, and thank you for letting Aaron make you spend a sunny evening in in our boardroom. Thank you very much. Another hand.
I just want to share a couple quick things. One, I'm glad you noticed that, Bob. The participation rates across the board with these groups and even the groups that aren't with us here tonight have been incredible, and it's a testament to our advisors. A couple of them are here tonight, but also these kids and the work they put in the recruiting, starting with our activities fair in September, all the way through just sharing opportunities, and kids can join at any time. They join at different age levels. It does not matter, and they do incredible things. The other thing that I want to commend this group on is the community that these kids create, not only on themselves with students, but through their organizations. You heard the example of using woods to make trophies for their tournament that we hosted for the first time, and bringing more tournaments here to Hudson. All of those things don't just happen. And if you're lucky enough in the fall to catch an athletic event during fall musical rehearsal, like we were this past year, you'll see a national anthem sung by the Footloose crew, all in costume. It's just the coolest thing that these groups bring in every year, and just happy to be a part of it. So thank you for your support, because all these opportunities wouldn't be possible. So have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay, next up we have Cheers for Peers report from Andrea.
Yes, and I think several of the recipients of the Cheers for Peers Awards are here tonight, so if you want to come forward, or if you prefer to stay in the background, that's good too. Don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to start with Brianne Klepp. Bree is the administrative assistant to the principal at EP Rock, and she has worked in the district for 11 years. And Bree was nominated by Michelle Beer. This is her first year in the position. She's a kind face to see every morning as you head into the building. She works hard to make sure that your questions are answered and organizes items needed to help with smooth communication to families. We are so lucky to have Bree in this new role. And then we have Steve Gaffer, who's here. He is a specialist with the district and has worked with us for 23 years, and he was nominated by Joe Barbie. Steve has gone above and beyond, both in helping me to support the district and more specifically, all the work he's been doing with the technology-related things in the construction areas. He's been taking a huge load off my shoulders while keeping his building supported. And then we have Diane Mertens. She is a special ed teacher at the high school and has worked in the district for 3 years. She was nominated by Matt Dahl and Morgan Sandville. It is my first year in the district, and Diane is one of the most impactful, positive, welcoming people to be around. I could not have transitioned as smoothly into this role without her. She makes every day feel like sunshine. She's an amazing teacher, and our students are better for having her in the classroom caring and guiding them. Then we have Quentin Mitchell, who's also, there we go, right there. He's a campus monitor at the high school, and he's worked in the district for 2 years. He was nominated by Dan Tornado and Kayla Wahus. Quentin is the perfect addition and a wonderful teammate. He is always punctual and ready to help out in any situation. We're so appreciative to have a reliable and accountable colleague that shares the workload and is great with students. Our job is not just about monitoring and escorting students. You have to be able to connect with the students as well. He's willing to put in the work to get to know the students, creating positive relationships and making students feel safe and valued. Then we have Zach Erickson, right back there. He is the lead custodian at the high school, and he's worked in the district for 2 years. He was nominated by Holly Quinn Mars. Zach goes above and beyond with a positive attitude and a smile. He has helped us out with several events, and we appreciate everything he and his team do for us. From arranging tables and chairs to assisting us with any needed requests, he does it all with a smile, and that does not go unnoticed. Thank you for all your hard work and effort to make our events a success. We couldn't do it without you and your hardworking team. Then we have Kennedy Franson. Kennedy's a first grade teacher at Holton Elementary, and she has worked in the district for 3 years. And she was nominated by an anonymous staff member. She's always full of positive energy for the students and her coworkers. She goes above and beyond to do what's best for her students and families. Her ability to adjust to new expectations and ask questions when she's unsure makes her an exceptional coworker. She enjoys sharing her new knowledge about creating positive work environments with our staff and making sure to follow those important tips herself. It's truly a joy to work with her. And then we have Chris DeLeon. He is a tech ed teacher at the middle school and has worked in the district for 25 years. He was nominated by Miranda Moore. Chris's passion for both teaching and his subject matter is genuinely inspiring. Teaching middle school students comes with its own set of challenges. Chris meets them with a light heart and deep compassion. He is truly in his element. I admire Chris's dedication to his work as well as his ability to connect with students while maintaining the highest level of professionalism. Its curriculum is both fun and engaging, allowing students to enjoy learning while meeting clear expectations. It's no surprise the students love being in its classes. We have Michelle Henschel. She's a special ed para at the middle school and has worked in the district for 4 years. She was nominated by Sydney Gerbig. She works really well with students with disabilities. She is very patient and knowledgeable with the students she works with. She has a perfect balance of kind but still holds students accountable and to a high standard. Thank you for all you do, Michelle. Sarah Elstrom. It's right there. She is an FACS teacher at the middle school and has worked in the district for 22 years and was nominated by an anonymous staff member. Sarah has put in countless hours this year supporting the long-term subs in her department. She has collaborated and supported planning and instruction along with managing budgetary concerns and inventory supplies. Throughout it all, Sarah has remained her positive, supportive self. Her joy for teaching and working with students has never wavered despite all of the extra work she took on and the fact that she was teaching on an overload all year long. Then we have Sarah Heil. She is a special ed teacher at North Hudson. She has worked in the district for 3 years. She was nominated by Melissa Hines. Sarah is just one of those teachers that will help out with everybody, help out everyone at any time with anything. She goes out of her way to help everybody. She takes on many different roles throughout the year. She's a kind and sharing person with staff and students. She always has a smile to share and often is our technology go-to person. She is amazing. And then we have Jenny Hartwig, Taryn Murphy, who are both here as well. Jenny and Taryn are special ed paras at Rivercrest. Jenny's worked in the district for 3 years, and Taryn has been with us for 6 years. They were nominated by Brianna Serlene. I am nominating Taryn and Jenny for their unwavering dedication, tireless work ethic, and the remarkable relationships they have built with both students and staff. They go above and beyond every day, not only providing exceptional support in the classroom, but also fostering a warm and inclusive atmosphere where all students feel valued and understood. Through their compassion, patience, and hard work, both of them had made a lasting impact on the lives of many. We're deeply grateful for the dedication, passion, care, and joy they bring to their work, making a difference every single day. Then we have Julie Fenner, right there. She is a health assistant at Willow River, and she has worked in the district for 22 years. She was nominated by Jennifer Hughes. I would like to nominate Julie Fenner for her incredible helpfulness and support toward me for the last 2 years at work. She consistently goes above and beyond to help me with difficult questions and scenarios when I am in a pinch. Her positive attitude, willingness to talk me through things, and kind approach make her an invaluable peer to cheer for. I truly appreciate her dedication to the students and teamwork within the health department. She's just the best. Katie Cook, she is a GT teacher at Hudson Prairie and has worked in the district for 15 years, and she was nominated by Heidi Aschenbrenner. Katie is a dedicated and innovative educator who has exceptional connections with her students. Students seek her out asking for more challenges. She is open to helping staff members, whether it is for 1 student or 10. She's an advocate for her gifted students and wants them to continue to grow and be challenged. Katie is ready to pivot at the drop of a hat and help out whoever she is needed to help, a student or staff member in need. So we are so lucky to have you at HP. And last but not least, Kyle Flanagan. He is a science teacher at the high school and has worked in the district for 12 years. Kyle was nominated by an anonymous staff member. Kyle is a wonderful person with a kind heart and a true passion for teaching. His impact on students is unmistakable. Whenever a student mentions his name, it's always accompanied by a smile. In the classroom, Kyle consistently puts his students' needs before his own. I've witnessed several moments where he's been deeply moved by the struggles students face, showing just how much he cares. As a colleague, Kyle has been a positive, encouraging, and wise presence. It's comforting to know that people like Kyle Flanagan are out there. We're truly fortunate to have him as a teacher at Hudson High School. So can we give a round of applause to all of our teachers? It is our last Cheers for Peers of the year, and so I definitely want to celebrate all the recipients of this award for the past year, and it's just such a pleasure now that we've added in this edition of having the reception, that you guys get to come in here, have an opportunity to meet the board, and so again, thank you for all of your hard work and dedication.
Yep. Thanks to all recipients, and thanks for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is citizens' right to speak. Do we have any?
I'm just checking. Were there any citizens that wanted a chance to speak? Take that as a no.
Okay. Since we have none, we will move on to reports for the construction update. Nick?
All right. Looks like everybody's kind of clearing out before they have to listen to me. I get it. I don't blame them. So just kind of a construction update and where we're at with things. We do these about every couple of weeks. As you can read through what we have going on the past week and what's been going on, I just kind of hit on some of the pictures, what you see. The first picture here, this is the new office addition, secure entrance at EP Rock Elementary. So it's coming along. Also, the next picture is where they're taking all of that old EFS off of the outside of the building. They're going to be doing asbestos abatement on the outside, and then they'll be putting in all the new windows that go in around the outside of the building there. Utility pads and the new utility yards for our chiller and backup generators. You start to see, even though the gym's not getting much work done at EP Rock, all the new chiller lines and some of the sprinkler lines, the building is getting fully sprinklered, which it hasn't been in the past, and so they're doing that work right now. As you start to look down some of the hallways, you can kind of see some of the different things that they have going on in full demolition mode. In this wing in the building, it is the kind of the southwest area of the building, and they're working through some different components. You start to see classrooms if you work your way down, and kind of how they're starting to demo everything, pull everything out of there. We move on to North Hudson. You're starting to see some real progress. This picture is of the new playground entrance, and the new entrance to the right there is the new addition. You start to see the media centers taking shape with the windows in. Drywall is up. They're getting it painted. It's really starting to look nice. Some additional, I don't know what the top picture is. Sorry. Start to see the gym space in the next picture. So windows are in. It's painted. Getting ready to put the gym equipment up as they get ready. That all has to be done, so then they can start the process of putting the wood floor down. You start to see some of the classrooms that are being renovated. Carpet has been pulled, ceilings have been pulled, and they're working on the demolition in the different classrooms, and so trying to get those things done. And then as you get into the middle school, here's a picture of, I guess, a hole in the roof. This is actually where they'll be putting an air handling unit up on the roof, because the new heating and cooling systems, and those are both of these pictures. So there's new HVAC systems going in at the middle school. If you start to see, this is the other side of the hole in the roof, so that's holding up the roof where they cut the holes. As you can start to see the pool area, they're still finishing up. You can kind of see a little bit if you zoom in on the pictures. You can see the big fans that they've installed to help it move air, along with all the new duct work. They're doing repairs on the pool itself. Remember, they have to fill this pool. It takes us a while. It's 335,000 gallons of water to fill our pool. And then once it's full, it's going to take us a few days to actually heat it up past the 37 degrees, which is what the water comes out of the tap after you've been running it for days to fill. So a lot of work there. In the back of the middle school, you may have noticed they put a large retaining wall in that's going to handle our utility yard with our backup propane tanks, our new chiller for the cold water system, and backup generators back there. And then they've started removing ceilings at the middle school, similar to what we've done at EP Rock and North Hudson. All the floor tile, if you look there, has been removed, the ceramic tile. So we're getting ready to get kind of a jump on some things for this summer. If you keep working your way through, you can kind of see some spaces that are demoed or getting new ceilings and new spaces as we work our way through. The next picture, as you see, they're cutting holes to do borrowed lights, so you get more passive supervision in the house structures and things along those lines. Some science rooms, the new softening going in the next picture, and more of the same. I would also extend the invitation to the board if you'd like me to set up some tours so you can kind of see a progress of where they're at. There'll be a lot of work being done this summer. There's probably been about 15 million to maybe 18 million worth of work that's been done so far, and they're going to have to do about $30 million worth of work in the next 3 months. So it will be a lot of work in the next 3 months. Move-in dates for the 3 buildings, minus the district office, is probably middle of August, because we have kids on the 26th. District office, we plan on moving into that space middle of September. So I want to make sure all the other spaces are done, and then we'll move into the district office space. What questions do you have?
Dr. Ouellette? I just wanted to ask you, I know that you've taken out the tile, or not you particularly, you've been over
I was
there
there
every
for
night.
quite a while. Yes, with the
Working
hammer,
24/7.
chisel.
This is why, yeah. So why is the tile coming out again? Remind me why that's happening and what's being replaced at the middle school. What's replacing the tile? Thank you.
Yeah, so the tile causes multiple issues for us, the ceramic tile. So we have kids that have mobility issues, they're using walkers, large equipment that we have to move throughout the building. It's just like one giant rumble strip for people. And so although it was a really popular flooring choice back in the 90s when the buildings were built, most schools have moved away from it. And so what we're putting in is a product called Kinetics. It's the same product. We'll have it in, I don't know if we'll have it in all the hallways in the elementaries and the classrooms in the elementaries. So it's a product that's made from recycled water bottles. It has the qualities of a soft surface, so like a carpet, but it has the durability of a hard surface. And so it'll make the building much quieter, much easier for some of our students with mobility issues to maneuver through the building and things along those lines. So that's the big impetus behind the tile.
Thank you for sharing that.
That propane tank, that looks huge. Is that going to be?
It is
locked
large.
in with something, or?
Is it, what's that?
Is it going to be shielded with something?
Yeah, so if
Decorated
you-
to look like a submarine or something?
Yes, you notice it has the taped word on there that says empty. At first, I was trying to figure out what it said. But, yeah, so that's actually, that's up on, above in that new retaining wall area, and it'll be inside a fenced-in area as part of our utility yard. So we get a discount for buying, for having interruptible gas service, which basically means the gas companies can call us, and we have about an hour and a half to shut off our natural gas. It's usually at times when there's a high demand, and we have to switch to an alternative heating source, which in the past has been heating oil. It's not a great source, you know, because you're constantly having to maintain these tanks, and heating oil is basically kerosene or diesel. And so we switched to propane as our backup fuel source. Our discount on our natural gas bill is, I think it's almost half. I mean, the rate is that good. But you have to be able to switch. So we have propane tanks both at, now we have them at middle school complex, middle school Prairie. EP Rock will have them, North Hudson, and the high school. And so they also, we can run our backup generators on either natural gas or on propane, depending on what we need to do as well. And so, just to give you an idea, that propane tank, if we had to go to alternate gas service, that'd last us about 36 hours. We'll burn through that tank, and so it's I think a 2,000-gallon tank. It's one of those things where it has to be big enough that we're not filling it every 6 to 8 hours, but you don't want it so big that you're just sitting on, you know, thousands of gallons. So it's that in between.
So we're adding that to other schools, similar tanks to other schools?
Yes.
Can I guess where the high school one is going to go?
The high school is already there. It's been
Oh,
there
it
since
is?
the remodel.
Okay. I
Yep.
was expecting it'd be right in my backyard.
It actually is, Bob. You could probably see it from your house. It's been there since 2017.
All right.
So it must
Obviously,
be
I
very
pay attention.
inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Dr. Arlette, can I ask a quick question? How often do we get asked to switch to propane, and how long does it typically last?
We got asked, I think, once or twice this year? Twice at Holton. And we have different gas providers depending on where our buildings are located. You know, for a long time, we went about 6 or 7 years, and I don't think we ever got asked. And so it's usually when there's a huge cold spell and there's a high demand for natural gas, they'll ask some of the largest users to switch to a different fuel source. And so we're a prolific user of natural gas because we have so many square feet. And so it doesn't happen very often, but also it gives us the option if we lose power, these will also run our backup generators as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Aaron?
Absolutely.
Oh, can you hit your button?
Is it on now?
There you go.
Oh, whoops, sorry. The last meeting, we were talking about the heating and cooling issues that were going on
Yep.
at the middle school.
Yes.
And have those been resolved?
Well, I mean, it depends
With it
on.
being so hot this
well,
last week.
It depends. I mean, it's definitely warmer today at the middle school than it was 2 weeks ago. So 4 of our buildings, we took the boilers offline about 2 weeks ago. And we did have some concerns at the middle school. And I would say the other 3 buildings, nobody really said anything, but we did have some people ask about it at the middle school. We did bring in some temporary heat at the middle school. And now, the challenges we're going to run into, at least, we had, on Friday and today, and it looks like tomorrow, but then after that's going to cool down, is air conditioning, because those units have been coming offline also. And so if we can get just to the other side of probably tomorrow, it looks like we're going to have highs in the 70s and 60s. We should be in pretty good shape. But yeah, this time of year is always going to be hard to regulate the building temperatures, because once it gets above about 60, 62 degrees, usually we have to use air conditioning to cool the buildings, which is not typical what you have to do at your home. And so we're in that weird time when, like I said, it's 92 yesterday, and this coming Sunday, it's supposed to be 59 for a high. So we got to kind of pick a date, and then we kind of shut it down, and that creates some challenges. But right now, I think everything's all right. I don't know, Bonnie, have you had any complaints today? She has her email off, and she has her cell phone turned off too, so that's what makes it easier. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting.
Thank you.
Yep.
If there are no other questions, we can move to enrollment update with Andrea.
Okay, so this is similar information to what we presented at the work session in terms of the projected enrollment for the 2025-2026 school year. This, in terms of the elementary analysis, has 6 more students, so isn't that exciting compared to our earlier data mine from April. So this was just run May 9th. In terms of the numbers, we're holding pretty steady. The greens are still continue to be green, which basically just means that we are below or well below our class size guidelines if it's green. And then if it's red, light red is we're like 1 above. If it's more than 1 above our class size guidelines, then it's the darker red. So the one that we are watching, and we talked about at the work session, it's Hudson Prairie 4th grade, where it's 28, 29, 29. It's important to note that with this document, it does not have kids, if any students that want boundary exceptions to in a different elementary school, we haven't yet processed those. That's going to be done, I believe, next week or the following week. So that will change the view of this document quite a bit. I think we have 30, 40 requests for boundary exceptions. We do not overload any classes when it comes to boundary exceptions, but we do bring it up to the class size guidelines. Thereafter, we place open enrolled students. The open enrolled students, if they are continuing open enrolled students, they're included within this. Our kindergarten kids, though, haven't yet been placed in a building. That'll occur after the boundary exception process, and so the K number will get higher on the basis of once we admit those and place them in elementary buildings. Any questions on the elementary one?
Okay.
Well, I have a question about 4K.
Okay.
So last year, what were we at this time?
Very similar to this number, because I talked to Sue Helmers today, or on Friday, and the 216 in April, when I did the report, I think it was 202, and we're already up to 216.
Okay.
It's very fluid this time of year, where parents, and Dave can speak about it better than I, but I think that Sue said this is very typical, or not, if he doesn't want to. Okay. I thought, well, I know you work on the 4K stuff, so with respect to this number, Sue said it's just very typical.
Okay.
So.
And then what was the ending enrollment that we finalized in fall?
That we finalized in fall for 4K?
Yeah. I'm just curious what our enrollment is.
Let me look, because I didn't up that number for a while. 324.
Okay, so it does go up quite a bit throughout the summer.
Typically it has. And that's why Sue I said, is there anything we need to be worried about? And she didn't feel that there was.
And then how is it divided amongst the schools? So is it parent preference, or how does that work?
So first, the enrollment process, this used to be kindergarten. We'd see the same sort of thing. So it's whenever it's the first opportunity for families to enroll, it just lags a little bit. They're trying to figure out the system, so it takes a while. In terms of choice, it is entirely parent-driven. They provide 3 choices, but they include if they need transportation, if they need after-school or wrap care, and then the placement process happens the first of each month on a rolling basis. So it's not first come, first serve throughout the entire summer. First come, first serve on a monthly rolling basis.
Okay. And then when do we talk to our partners and the elementary schools about what their numbers will be?
That's ongoing. Each month, as we get the new numbers, they get
Oh.
updates. So they meet,
Okay.
the directors meet monthly with Sue Helmers.
Okay.
And they go through this each month.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions in elementary?
Oh, Aaron?
I know I touched on this last time with you just a little bit, but it's still kind of concerning seeing the red numbers, the 27, 28 kids per class. So once the boundary lines exceptions are made, do you anticipate that those numbers are going to reduce at all, or is there time still to adjust and add an extra classroom for those if we're able to do that?
There's definitely time. I mean, I think at this next meeting, whenever our next meeting is, we should have more information, because I believe the boundary exception process will be occurring before that next
Awesome.
meeting. And so then we'll know more. I don't know how many kids in that grade at Prairie are requesting boundary exceptions. It's always an odd thing where it's the people coming out and the people coming in and trying to figure out where they're all going. But yeah, as soon as we have that information, and we regularly get resignations in June too, that we have to post and fill for. So I would say that, yeah, we would definitely have time to still adjust.
I imagine there's people at home watching these numbers and going, oh my goodness. So I just
Sure.
wanted to make sure that I brought that up as a concern.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Now we're moving on to personal technology use update.
Real quick, should we hit the high school, middle school numbers?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I jump ahead?
Just a quick update on there. The middle school did go down a few kids, so from 1073 to 1058 versus the last report. High school went up a few kids, so 1643 to 1654. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's a lot of fluctuations this time of year, so that's it.
Thank you, Andrea. Nick?
Yeah, so we have both Sally and Mike here to kind of talk about the personal kind of technology use update. You know, Sally's going to kind of kick it off with talking a little bit about, where we're at with our mental health issues and things like that, and what our initiatives have been. And then Mike's here to kind of talk about some of the changes at the high school that people had some questions about. So go ahead.
Yeah, so as a mental health team this year, focusing on technology and mental health has been a big priority, and this came up a lot in the community conversation last year, the number 1 and number 2 priorities that were identified there. As a mental health team too, we all know that this is not something that we can do alone as a school district. This needs to be a whole community-wide effort, so we focused a lot on learning more about this topic and also bringing more education to the community as a whole. And we're pretty proud of the big events that we were able to host this year. But looking at some of our data, and this is what we looked at, this is from the 2023 YRBS Youth Risk Behavior Survey. This is currently the most updated information we have. The high school took the YRBS about a month ago, mid-April. The 8th graders took the survey today. It typically takes us about 8 to 9 months to get the report back from DPI. So we'll be looking at 2025 data, probably November, December. But currently, we're looking at this kind of information so heavy screen time. This question asks about students who are on devices excluding school-related use, so not on Chromebooks for school time, that sort of thing. And this doubled from 2019 to 2021. 38% of students were on devices 3 hours or more in 2021 to 75% in 2021, and then stayed steady in 2023. So we'll see what it looks like this year. And then if you go to the next slide, this is our students who are on screens between midnight and 5 a.m. on school nights. So obviously this is some concerning local data. This is pretty standard though. I mean, it lines up nationally. We're not outliers. We're just kind of along the trend lines for what we're seeing nationwide. So then we put together some events. We first reached out to the library and had a partnership with the Hudson Area Public Library to hold 2 different sessions focused on the book The Anxious Generation, which has been getting a ton of buzz. And they were really eager to partner with us, which was great. They purchased more copies of this book than they normally would have. And so we, as a team, attended the 2 sessions. We promoted it through our channels, and then they promoted it. So it was not just open to district families, but to anybody in the community. We had a good response and really enjoyed having conversations focused that way. And then in January, we hosted the Screenagers Elementary Edition documentary. So some years ago, the district hosted a Screenagers event. This is an updated version of this film, which was focused on the impact screens have on younger age kids, elementary. This was a really great turnout we had for the event. Over 130 families came, which was great. It's like an hour-long film, and then we had a panel with a pediatrician, an elementary counselor, and a therapist, and we had some questions and answers, and it was really well received. We followed that up with our Screenagers Next Chapter, which is the updated again version, but for high schoolers, and focused on that mental health piece pretty closely. And that was just a couple weeks ago, April 23rd. Wednesday nights tend to be difficult nights for events, but we still had a great turnout. About 75 people, I think I would say, came to that event and were really engaged too. We had a similar panel afterward. So we were really proud that we were able to host those events and get a lot of good engagement with that. As far as reach, so between the two events for Screenagers, over 200 community members and caregivers came to one of those. The Anxious Generation, we also have in a staff professional development library. It's been checked out 25 times from that physical library where I put it in interoffice mail to get it to folks. And then we have a digital resource library 31 times. It's been checked out either for like an ebook or an audio that our staff has been checking that out this year. And that digital content resource has only been available since January, so they're really taking advantage of that, which is great. I checked in last week with the Hudson Area Public Library, and the 23 copies of The Anxious Generation have circulated 141 times in our community since this fall. So I think, you know, the information is getting out there, and kind of there is a lot of people who are curious to learn more about this nexus between mental health and tech, and what can we do, what role do we all play in supporting our kids and getting the best practices out there. And from our perspective as a mental health team, we take this responsibility of educating the kids of Hudson's very seriously. And we know that technology, we can't just wholesale say, no tech in schools. That's not realistic. That's not what we're talking about. But we want to make sure that we are providing our kids with the best skills to use technology as a tool and not a crutch, and make sure that we are preparing them with the skills and the ability to move forward in their lives with what they need to best support themselves.
Thank you. I know I was at the Screenager viewing, and so was Maria, and even Jamie Johnson made it because it's habit for Jamie, I guess. But it was, I think it was great. The panel discussion was excellent. I think that added a lot to it. Had a lot of audience participation, so.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. President? I just want to thank you so much for the work your team has done this past year. This is amazing. The numbers are fantastic. And taking this from the community conversation and all the work you've put in to make this happen, on top of all the other things you do, I think this is such an important discussion that we're having as a district and as a community, and I can't thank you enough for the effort you've been putting in.
Brian?
Thanks, Mr. President. I want to also say thank you so much for this conversation. My family attended the January event of Screenagers, and something I was really struck by at that event is families really wanting support on this subject, and really, I think we're all really struggling on where to go on you know, personal devices, you know, our phones, so on, and I think having these events and continuing to have these events is going to be really important for this community. People really want to talk about it, to have support. So thank you.
Okay. Mr. President? I agree with you. I myself kind of find myself wondering, what do we do sometimes? And that leads me to, I saw some communication about cell phones in school. And so I don't know if you were planning to talk.
Yeah, I'm next.
Oh, perfect.
It's gonna be a beautiful segue.
This is a great segue.
Yeah.
You'd think that I had this ready. But I kind of, as a board, I feel like I want more information statistically and facts on what that looks like for schools, whether we have cell phones in school, what the pros and cons are, so that we can kind of better direct what's happening as well.
And I would say that Erin requested Mr. Ballard's participation tonight because she's hearing things from parents as well, concerns, so. Maria?
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I just want to say thank you very much for the work that you do. It is very important, and you are absolutely right. It is a partnership with teachers, with parents, with families, and with our larger community. And I know this is the Hudson School District's mental health team, and I know there used to be a mental health task force. And if we are truly talking about this as a community, I think we need to start bringing those resources together to support families within the community, because there are a wide variety of agencies that work on this from a wide variety of angles, and they can all bring a perspective and a resource and an ability to connect. The other thing I would say, having been at the last event, one of the things that the conversation really wrestled with was healthy use. And there really wasn't a definition. And I think that varies from family to family. But I also think you gotta put something out there for people to wrap their hands around, to say, what could I wrestle with? To say, does this work for my family? Or is there some variation of that theme? And so when we continue to say we all need to strive for healthy use, that becomes a very nebulous thing that's hard to put a pin in. And that might be the next step, to say, how do we at least give something, a benchmark, a goal, some definition for families to work with, because it is going to vary from family to family and what their needs and what their goals are, and understand that, but at least we have something to anchor to.
And one thing that is difficult, and a lot of families kind of came up with, or after the Screenagers event, asking for like, just tell me, like, my kid's 8, what's the limit this summer?
Exactly.
And you can't say like, okay, only 2 hours, you know, whatever the video game is, and that's it. But one other resource I want to highlight that we've had for several years is on our website for the middle school, there is a digital, I can't remember the exact name of it, but we have partnered with the Spark and Stitch Institute, which has this great module of learning for parents on how to support their student. And the idea is, now that they're given this one-to-one Chromebook that they're taking home every night, how do you support their digital learning? We've done events with Erin Walsh from the Spark and Stitch Institute in years past, and she does a great job talking about technology is neither good nor bad, it's powerful. And so they have modules, and we've got a license for parents of 6th graders that they can go through to learn how they can support their students' learning with that, and I encourage all families to take advantage of that. It's just right there on the website that you can access, and that's one tool to just go with. It's difficult because what's developmentally appropriate for one student may not be for another based on their own trajectory. And so it would be so nice to say, like, you know, based on height and weight, we know what car seat is correct for this student, but based on height and weight, we don't know what hours of screen time is going to be appropriate for that child.
I love you pointing out that resource. I think it's just giving families something to jump from.
Yes.
And say, how do I apply this to my kiddo, knowing where my kiddo is and developmentally. And one's going to know how to use technology really well, and others are not. So
Yes, and it
I
may vary
appreciate that.
from child to child within one family.
Exactly.
And that's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And on a quick side note, don't panic when you see Sally's name later in the personnel pack. We're moving Sally from prevention specialist to the mental health coordinator role because Kristen Ziebel's retiring. So you'll see her name later on, and if there's some confusion, she's not leaving us in all this great work. We're just switching her roles.
Well, Kate, I'm here to talk a little bit about some significant changes coming to our high school, particularly ones that reflect like a renewed commitment to student learning, focus, and well-being, and directly related to some of the information that Sally just shared with regards to student mental health. So starting next school year at the high school, we will be stringently enforcing our school's electronic device policy. And I just want to assure all of you that that decision is grounded in both experience, research, and overwhelming community input. Over the past year, I've personally observed increasingly prevalent and frankly disruptive personal device use during our instructional times. Our teachers have expressed this concern consistently over the past few years. Again, that would kind of correlate with some of the information that Sally just shared with regards to the jump from 23% to 75%. And quite honestly, we've heard it echoed in the voices of both students and families alike. You know, more than 125 community members participated in our community conversation last year, and the impact of phone use and the learning on both learning and mental health surfaced as a top concern. So we're also drawing from research and lived experiences. So one recent example is the book, The Anxious Generation, which you just keep hearing about over and over again. But many of our teachers have read and discussed it via a book club that actually was initiated by Mrs. Sorensen, our associate principal here, that's here tonight. And also Mrs. Dado read The Anxious Generation or parts of it with her students in her mind and body class this year. And they expressed, they explored many of the themes and shared their insight very honestly. One student wrote that phones became a key culprit to robbing children of their childhood and learning experiences, leaving them anxious. Another student shared that without social media for 3 weeks, my mental health got better. So to me, it's really clear. We need to do better, and so we will. Starting this fall, no personal electronic devices, including phones, smartwatches, laptops, earbuds, from home will be allowed in any instructional space during any class period for any reason unless required for medical or accessibility needs. The only change to our existing policy is that we are eliminating teacher discretion. This step ensures consistency for students and also clarity for our staff, and that, quite honestly, is something that the vast majority of our teachers long for. They want some clarity, they want some structure. Each classroom will have a designated storage pocket where devices are turned off and stored at the start of each period and picked up at the bell. Just want to make sure we understand, too, that this isn't just about rules. It's about creating the conditions for our students to thrive in, okay? And naturally, one question we've heard is, well, what happens in the classroom once the devices are gone? And quite honestly, the answer is that the students are going to thrive, okay? We have over 35% of our teachers currently do not utilize cell phones in their classrooms. And without the constant pull of phones, our teachers are reinvigorating their classroom practices. Lessons are becoming more collaborative. There's increased focus on discussion, project learning, and student-led inquiry. We're seeing a return to eye contact, you guys. Eye contact. They're sharing this, okay? To genuine peer interaction and to deeper questioning. So teachers are using more movement and creative engagement tools to meet students where they're at. Technology will still have a place, but kind of like Sally alluded to earlier, it will be very purposeful, right? When Chromebooks or digital tools are used, it will be in a structured and intentional way that enhances learning rather than distracting from it. And in short, we are trying to reclaim the classroom as a place of curiosity, connection, and focus. We know that this change will not happen overnight, right? That's why we're taking some thoughtful measures and steps to support the students along the way. Before the end of the school year, every grade level will participate in meetings to review the why behind the policy and also the expectations moving forward. And on day one of next year, school year, we will again reinforce this message through advisory meetings and in classroom discussions. If any of you have a freshman, your student was a part of that meeting today. So that was our first one was our freshman. We have seniors tomorrow for some wrap-up graduation things, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the grade levels, including 8th grade. When the students do make mistakes, which we expect, right? They're kids. And especially early on, we're ready with a supportive but rather firm plan. Okay, so on the very first response is going to include a choice. When the students come down, they can choose to have a detention, but our preference would be is that they go through a guided learning session that talks a little bit about focus, the impact on technology, and causes some self-reflection on their own use and maybe why they're there. Repeat violators then will involve family conversations and a progressive path that includes structured restrictions if needed. Okay, so we'll just kind of increase it to give them what they need. This isn't about punishment. It's not. It's really, quite honestly, about a partnership between the school, the student, and the family to protect for us what matters most, and that's our students' capacity to focus, to think deeply, to connect with each other, and to learn in a distraction-free space. Our staff is fully behind this change. Our community has called for it, and our students, many of them anyway, have already begun to see the value. So I want to thank you for your continued support as we move forward. I've had an opportunity to have some conversations with many of you, and we really just look forward to working together to create a healthier and more focused learning environment for all of our raters. Okay.
So, Mr. Ballard, it's kind of true that this is our policy.
This
We're
is
just
our
now it's
policy.
going to be enforced throughout.
Yes.
So there will be no like favorites or anything like
Yep.
that. And I know it'll be a learning as we go kind of thing, see what works, what needs to be tweaked. One concern came up from a parent, like if they do this and everybody puts their phones in these little pockets, what's to stop somebody from taking a wrong phone and doing it on purpose? And you know how people panic. I know how I panic if I can't find my phone.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope that that's part of the training with these kids, that they'll be severe if you mess with other people's property.
Yeah, we'll certainly go down that path, and I'm sure we'll encounter things like that, Bob. I will share. Many of you've had an opportunity to see Mrs. Heisler and Ms. Pelbicki in choir. I mean, just amazing people, right? And we just did something called a learning lab with a few of our teachers, a few of our department heads, and where they had an opportunity to observe one another and do some takeaways. Just go into a classroom you've never been in before. Mrs. Hens is a business teacher with us for, I think this is her 6th year. She's like, I've never even been in the choir room. Well, we brought her in with our instructional coaches, and we did some purposeful observation. And Carrie Heisler and Jamie Pelbicki have been incorporating these pockets all year. And they have almost 100 students in there. And I'm telling you, the routine of they just go in, and then while Mrs. Heisler's getting things ready, Ms. Pelbicki's over there, she takes attendance off of their phones, right? I mean, clever, quick, clever, don't have to figure out where your 100 students are. And so those two then are sharing that information with our other staff members. We just had a meeting last Wednesday after school. Anyone could come, totally voluntary, and they spoke about the difference that they're seeing with not having to have their kids constantly reaching for their phones or concerned about the vibration or the ding that occurred in their pocket. So we're going to run into some of that, Bob, I'm sure. I will share too, we have a tendency to look at the BRC, right, like the Big River Conference comparables, and I participate in a high school meeting about every other month with them. I can't always make them, but we share notes and we talk and we collaborate. And then we also have a list of comparables of other districts within the state that we feel are comparable to ours on a variety of factors. And we have their list as well. And we know, for example, that Kimberly is a school that implemented this a year ago. And it is incredible there. Like, we had a couple of teachers go down there, not necessarily for electronic devices, but for some other reasons, and came back going, you can't believe the level of engagement with those phones in those pockets. So we're going to reach out to them. We have a running list of 2 pages of questions about how will we handle this? How will we handle B? How will we handle C? So that we can ask from the people and learn from the people who have already done it, right? And we won't get it perfect, but we'll learn the best we can and pass that knowledge on to our students and staff prior to the next fall.
Okay.
You're quick. I have 2 thoughts about this. One is, as an adult, I suffer from the same addiction.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that our staff are modeling this for the kids, so that if the kids are putting their phones away, that staff, teachers, whoever it might be, should probably also be putting their phones away, which, I mean, it puts a lump in my throat, so I understand how hard that is. But I think that modeling is really important for them. And then this just makes me start to think about the middle school and why, maybe we need to see how it goes for a year at the high school, but why not set the kids up that this is an expectation right away when they start getting cell phones, which is right around fifth, sixth grade. But
Mr. President, I am thrilled. I'm so excited. Thank you for the work that you've put in, that the staff has put in. This is a fantastic policy. I know Nick is going to be thrilled that I will stop sending him articles about getting phones out of the classroom. So that's a win for Nick too. But this is just, I'm so excited to see where this goes. And I know it's a little bit stricter at the middle school already right now, I think, Nick, with phones.
Yeah, middle school, it's off all day.
Okay. So, but yeah, if the pockets are the way it's done, but they're supposed to have it away at the middle school, I don't know. We can talk about it another time, but I'm very excited.
I think at the panel, go ahead, Molly. During the panel discussion, Dan Buckle, one of our counselors, had said how it takes away anxiety. If you got the kids, okay, put them in your pockets, It's still beeping, it's still buzzing, it's still vibrating, and that's an anxiety, just to not have that to worry about during instructional time is hugely important. And I thought it was just worth mentioning.
Can I just add one thing to Megan, and then we can come back to Molly? But Megan, I know you said thank you, but honestly, this has been an effort that's been 9 months to a year in the making. It's been a collective effort by a lot of people at our high school. We put a lot on the plates of our department heads, and we meet, the department heads and administration meet about every 6 to 8 weeks, and they've been kind of talking about it for a long time, and but it's been a pretty big step. And then I think there's just a kind of a movement hit, right? Like a movement hit over in Minnesota. Anxious Generation came out. People started going, my goodness, look at some of this data. And I think you're hearing some of yourselves talk about it, like we reflect on our own personal life and our own personal use and go, wow, if we have a hard time not answering the text when it dings when we're in the car, imagine a student when they're trying to read or write or pay attention, what it's doing at that time. So the other clarifying component that I just want to make sure we're real clear with, and we're going to be real clear with the students too, is it's really bell to bell, right? It's not about where. It's going to be when. During instructional time is when they're to be turned off and put into wherever you are supposed to be in Skyward. It's not to be carried down the hallway, and that's okay, or in the bathroom, or to the office or counsel during instructional time, okay? Which then means that before school, between every class, at lunch, and after school, that is your time to talk with your employer, your parents, celebrate your test, etc. Right?
Mr. President? I just had a couple questions. I assume some of the pushback you might get from parents and guardians is connecting with their kids for the crazy lives that everybody's leading. So I assume that there's basically parents, guardians will be instructed to call the office or send an email, essentially. Is that their communication? So parents are also going to be educated on how to connect with their kids so they don't freak out.
Yeah, if they need something immediate within that 88 minutes per period.
Right,
Then that would be the proper channel. Molly, it's been unbelievable. So we've sent 2 letters. I don't know if you received them, but the first parent letter that we sent out in the newsletter was just kind of it's coming, and here's a little bit of the why. And then the second parent communication went out last Friday, I believe, where it was far more detailed. This is going to kind of be our plan. That's what I kind of used to help share all of that with you, because I didn't know if all of you had read it. But I will share with you that we are able to receive input from parents when we send things via Parent Square, and we have never in my 5 years received so much positive feedback as to those 2 letters. I mean, it's in the teens of people saying thank you, we support it. Like if you need support, we will come speak. Right, like very, very touching, very, very kind, and just I think one concern, and it wasn't even a concern about the shift of embracing the policy. It was more of a specific concern related to a scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's a monumental change and good and will be challenging because
It'll
I
be
know,
challenging.
I think like Kate says, when it tells you how much time you've spent on your phone,
Yeah.
and it's not like you're spending all your time on entertainment, you're doing things. But just as a society, that's a huge challenge, but a perfect time to start learning some good habits.
Yeah.
So I applaud all of you for taking this on. Know that we support you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember that in late September.
I will remember it.
You might
I
get an,
will
you might
remember
get an
it,
email or
yes.
two.
Mr. President, thank you. Mr. Ballard, I just want to say thank you. I do, and this is really important. Anytime a policy is in place, they always say 70% of the work is in implementation, and that's the yeoman's lift that you guys are doing. And what I truly appreciate about it is that you spent the time to thoughtfully approach it. You looked at it, you engaged students, you engaged family. I have a freshman in high school. The letters were really helpful and sparked some good conversations. So yes, thank you.
Good.
And what you're doing is happening in a larger sphere. There is plenty of data. We have about 11 states that have a variety of state-level policies, either requiring, like our friends over in Minnesota, put a state law in place that said by March 2025, every district has to have a policy in place. We have some states that have been more prescriptive. And so it's a tough needle to thread, and I appreciate the very thoughtful approach that you guys are taking to your existing policy to say, how do we shore it up and make it even stronger for our educational experience? I think there should be some, I support Kate's idea of we as a board should do more conversation to understand the policy landscape. And I would say some of the underlying data that's happening here, not only with technology, but mental health and understanding some of our broader policies and setting some of the environments that we have here as a district. I think that would be a great thing for us to do in a work session.
I'll just add to that, Miriam. Super proud of our teachers. We have I mean, you saw our kids, right? I mean, if that doesn't give you chills, like, I don't know, right? Like, but our teachers are special. We have a great group of people. And even those that might not be enforcing it right now are saying, hey, if this is what we're going to do and this is what the research says, then count me in. I see the impact. I see the impact of it. And the first question I asked them is how many people, in our last staff meeting, how many people feel as though cell phones have had a negative impact on your ability to instruct throughout the day? And every single hand that I saw was up. That's all. I mean, over 100 teachers, many, many veteran. That's all I needed to see to go, you know what, we're doing the right work. It's going to be hard work, but we're doing the right work.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking about this. You've done such a great job answering all of the questions that I sent you, so thank you for that. And I just wanted to kind of echo a little bit of what Maria was saying there, and it's probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I would like to open up a future discussion on board cell phone use, because as I look around here, we're having this conversation, there's at least 8 cell phones guiltily on this table. And it does set a precedence, and as the board, it kind of starts with us, you guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, as when I sit in board meetings, we don't have cell phones out. There's a very important message I learned a long time ago, that if your cell phone is out, even at the dinner table in front of people, that whatever is just sitting here is more important than who you are in front of me. And we need to be very mindful of that. That helps us to echo that with our children as well, be good models of that. And then I have a little request for Tracy down at the end there. I wonder if it would be possible for Tracy to maybe go in and video a little before and after this policy gets put into place. Maybe the kids in the hallways, how they're conversing, maybe how the classrooms look, maybe interview some students or some teachers, and just so we can really showcase what Hudson is doing for other districts and go, wow, this is really cool. Look at how different it is. Yeah, that'd be great.
I just had one more comment. I just want to say, I used to have my cell phone turned on. And I do not have it turned on anymore because my daughter's cell phone is that baby from Family Guy. And it would ring through, and I couldn't figure out why would it, because she's on one of my contacts, so she would ring through all the time. So that is the way you cure it. If having your cell phone out is you have a terrible ringtone, so you're so embarrassed you will turn it off.
I think Dan Buckle mentioned too that, I don't know if it's in the early morning before school or something, in the cafeteria or wherever everybody's gathering, that how quiet is, subdued, people are on their phones, some are talking, some are, but when, over lunch where it's not allowed, is that true? I don't know. He mentioned that there was like, it was the cafeteria we all experienced when we were young. Loud, people were kicking paper footballs and doing rock, paper, scissors in groups, big groups, and, you know, he's like, it's awesome, so.
Yeah.
So, but thank you, Dr. Valentine.
I'm sorry, just quickly, I won't go on. I'm very supportive of, I'm so excited about this policy. But everybody here has said so much that I agree with. But I wanted to just quickly request that sometime in the fall, once you get over some of the bumps, that we invite you back to get an update on it and kind of how it's going and whether more changes are needed, what kind of support you need from the board.
Yeah.
I think this is important to all of us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, Brian, as we forecast out, right, we're always trying to, I think the word I learned from Nick and Andrea's issue spot, right? Like what is going to be coming up that we can forecast, right? And unfortunately, you know, if you think about 1,650 kids, 1% is almost 20 kids, right? I mean, just 1%, right? I think we're going to have 20 kids or so, maybe more, that are going to have a very, very difficult time physically giving their phone and putting it someplace that's not on their person. You know, and so we have to think clearly and thoughtfully about how we are going to work through that scenario, right? Because there is a side where we say, we want a partnership with you, we want a partnership with your family, and we want to make this work. But there's also a side where we have to be able to say, we have to find that balance between you can't interrupt the instructional day, and we can't also be insubordinate. So like, where's that line, right? We know it's coming. We know that's potential for it to come. How are we going to go about navigating those waters in a way that's fair to the students, but as the student, but as importantly, fair to the other 26, 27, 28 kids in that classroom and the instructor. So those are the kinds of things we're going to reach out and talk with some of our partners on, and some of those school districts that I was sharing with you about earlier, to kind of, how did you navigate that? What can we learn? But I do appreciate the support.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? All right. Thanks, you guys.
Moving on from reports to discussion topics and potential action. Consent items first. Who takes us over? The approval of minutes.
Mr. President, I move approval of the consent items and that the Chief Financial and Operations Officer be authorized to pay bills at the amount of $3,862,729.93.
Thank you, Molly. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Hearing that, the motion passes, or the consent item passes. And let's see. Is it the board meeting schedule? It's always fun, and I'm going to claim ignorance because I did not follow it like Jamie did for 12 years and think of everybody's actions. And I haven't consulted Carrie Whitaker, see what she thinks. But we can open this up for discussion, Nick.
Yeah, it's the same schedule that we talked about at the work session. Administration would just recommend approval of the current, the schedule as presented. You can see some of the highlighted dates we had that are a little bit different dates than when we would normally do things. But otherwise, this is the same schedule you've seen before. So recommendation is to approve.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Megan with the motions, Kate with the fast second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion passes. And we move on to food service management and Chartwells, and that's Bonnie.
So this is the same proposal that was provided at the work session that you reviewed. In response, Kate had indicated, or had asked if we would do that survey. So the survey is currently out for families and kids. We hope to have those results in June to present to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good, then moving on to commercial insurance. What? Oh, I didn't think we were approving, okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Chartwells contract.
Very good. Very good, thank you, Brian.
So moved.
So moved, it goes really well.
Second.
Second for Molly. Can all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, the motion is approved. Moving on to commercial insurance with Bonnie.
Again, this is the proposal that was reviewed at the work session. Our recommendation is on the green highlighted section. So we would need a motion to approve that.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move approval of the commercial liability, property, cyber, and workers' comp insurance renewals as presented.
Thank you, Molly. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Megan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. That motion passes. Moving on to the potential board retreat. Nick, would you like to?
So we talked about this, about potentially doing a board retreat, and having Laura Lubinsky come up and work with the board on a variety of topics. She shot me some dates, and trying to see what works for you guys. Question is, would you want to do, does June 10th work? Because we're getting kind of towards the end of May. That's I believe, that's a Tuesday. Yes. Does that work for the board? And what it would be is a retreat would be, a couple hours with Lori. She would hit kind of topics. We talked about update on executive orders. We talked about open meetings law, whose job is it, roles and responsibilities of school board members. And then she also wanted to touch on some open record stuff as well. It's an open session meeting, so, because she's not providing legal advice based on us getting sued for something. So it's her talking through it, but it'd be a retreat. So it's just a separate meeting, kind of like a work session type thing, more of an informal situation, so.
And what date would you?
June 10th.
What time?
It can be whatever time works for people. What'd you say? Evening, yeah, evening, yep. I thought you said 8 at night, and I'm like, wow, that's a little later than we normally start, but hey, whatever works. We could set it up to be at 5:30, it'd be a couple hours long. If it works better for people to do 6, we could do 6, what are people's thoughts?
Is that the only date available?
I think there's also, we could move later in June. And I think there is, let me see, what did she have for later June? Struggling to read this. She had June 30th, and then it got into July. If we wanted to look at, July sometime. The only thing that she would have as soon as next week, we could do something as soon as next week.
June 30th is the 4th of July week, so.
Yes.
We think that's
assuming
going to be
that's
a
no.
bad week for
Yeah.
people. There's just going
June
to be a lot
30th,
of people out of
yeah.
town.
I mean, is there,
I mean, I'm fine with it.
What,
but
June 10th?
June 30th works for me, but I know there's a lot of, I have,
Yeah, I'm
my
out of
whole
town.
staff have the entire week off, so I don't expect.
Sorry to talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the 10th workable for?
The 10th is fine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
work?
Well, let's see if Maria had to step away,
Nope,
so.
no, too bad.
She will be
we
available.
have had a change in leadership around here.
That's the price to pay you.
Why don't we tentatively plan it for that and then
And check with Maria.
check with Maria?
okay,
That's what.
Oh, I'm sorry.
all right, June 10th.
I know. Well, and obviously, if there's a problem with Maria, we can
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe we do the 10th for now and check.
Yep, that's
Check.
what I'm
Yep.
just emailing her to get it on her calendar at least, and then if we have to cancel that because it doesn't work, we'll try something else.
Okay, anything else, Nick?
That's it. That's the evening.
That brings us to the end of the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Fast. Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Nice. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Hearing none.